A common misunderstanding on the twin flame journey has to do with loving oneself. And oftentimes a misunderstanding comes around feeling that it's egotistical. And if you feel that it's egotistical, then you're of course not going to want to love yourself, because that is the one thing that is fueling separation, is the ego. And so you might be feeling, well, I don't want to be egotistical because that's only going to push away my twin flame even further. But in this video, I'm going to clarify what it means to love oneself and how it's not actually egotistical. Okay, welcome back. I'm Breann, a Master Certified Ascension Coach with Twin Flames Universe. I've been on my journey since 2017 through embodying and studying the teachings of union and the mirror exercise. I have healed physical separation from my twin flame. And we've been together for over 4 years now. We are married and we live happily together forever after, and sharing everything that we've learned, that we've come to know in our journey with you, for the purpose of helping you to also manifest your heart's dreams and desires. All right, let's get back to it. And so loving oneself, and if you believe that it's egotistical, I'm going to tell you in a very short way why it's not. And if you understand this concept of believing that loving oneself is egotistical, that idea in itself comes from a place of separation, believing that you are separate from all things. And if we go down to the core of it, I call it God. You can call it whatever you want. Source, higher power, love. I say God because that's what I feel comfortable with. But if we go to the core of everything, God is the one that created us. We did not create ourselves. We were created by our Creator. And in that, we are all connected to source energy. Essentially, when you go down to the core, we're all one. There's literally no separation. Now, coming out into our bodies, into the physical realm on earth, you see me, you see another person and that person, and we are individuals. But in our individuality, we are not separate, because when you strip away the body, you strip away all of the qualities of who we are, and you bring it back down to the core. We are divine beings. We are love. We're one with love. We're one with peace. We're one with joy. We're one with happiness. And when you love yourself, and when you love yourself very deeply, when you're choosing to heal your wounds, you're choosing to heal your upsets, you're choosing just to care for and value yourself, you are also choosing to care for and to value all things. And that's the magic in this. And this is why it's so attractive to your twin flame when you're loving yourself in this way, because you're not just loving yourself. You're loving all things. You're loving all of God's creation, because you are one with all of God's creation. There's no separation in that. But the ego will see it as, ooh, you love yourself, shame on you, but that's not the truth of what's happening. And so if you've been feeling this way, maybe you're afraid to commit to going all in with loving yourself, know that you can now relax. You don't need to believe what the ego is telling you. It's just a lie. Because in actually loving yourself, you're loving God, you're loving self, you're loving twin flame, your twin flame, and you're loving all things. And that's the most beautiful thing that you can do. And you want to, even going deeper here, we identify with ourselves as we know ourselves to be. But if you strip away the self, if you really just let that go completely, when you choose to value yourself, you're choosing to value what's beneath the self. When you're choosing to love yourself or to respect yourself as a divine being, you're respecting and valuing what's beneath the self, which is your divine state of being, which is who you are truly created to be in all of creation. And so there's not even There's no ego in that, because you're choosing to love what's beneath the surface, and you're choosing to align your consciousness to what is beneath the surface. And that is where the magic happens. That is where the blessings and the miracles, come to fruition from. And you might say, okay, well, how do I love myself? Because this is also a common misunderstanding or question. And we know like surface level things, right? Like, let's say, you want to treat yourself to a spa day and you want to go get that mani or pedi, and you just want to take care of yourself. Speaking specifically to the ladies and the men, is that you just want to care for yourself. Maybe you want to give yourself that, warm bubble bath with flowers and essence, or maybe you want to take yourself out to a movie, have a really nice cup of tea or a cup of coffee, go out with a friend, spend some time with your twin flame. Whatever that is, that's kind of like surface level, not surface level, but it's the love that we're kind of like used to and we know. But the deeper love that I'm speaking to, it's the one that people often struggle with. And that is looking at oneself and identifying where you don't feel good in yourself. And a lot of times this can stem from childhood traumas, wounds, unresolved upsets, places where you've been deeply hurt. Say if you've been abandoned throughout your life, or if you have felt like you've been unworthy of having love in your life, or you've experienced rejection, really like allowing yourself to go into those places in your consciousness and love yourself. And you still might be asking, okay, I get you, but how do I love myself there? Well, you choose it, and here's an example. Because the majority of our upsets do stem from our childhood or young adulthood years, just as if, like, let's say your inner child was a physical being right now, and he or she walked up to you, and let's say they fell. This is a common childhood thing. They fell and they scraped their knee and they're crying, and there's some pain there, and maybe there's some, it's bleeding, and they need a Band-Aid, they need to be cared for. What would you do in that situation? Let's say your 6-year-old self was in front of you right now, and he or she needed some care and attention. They were hurting, and they were looking to you with tears in their eyes, asking you to help them. What would you do? Like, I know for me, I would be very quick to, oh, let me help you. I see that you've hurt yourself here. Let me love and care for you. Let me give you a Band-Aid, or maybe you need a hug, or maybe you just need a shoulder to cry on, and I can console you. This is what you do with your inner child. This is what you do with your inner being. If you like to use visualization, you can visualize that part of you that's been hurting, and you can talk to them like you're a conscious being, and you can talk to all aspects of yourself at any time. Like, there's no past or future. Like, the present moment is where everything is living from. And so that 5-year-old you that was hurt, although in Earth's timeline that happened years ago, if that part of you is not healed, he or she is still with you, and they're still hurting because they've not been given whatever they needed to be given in that moment for whatever reason. Like, let's say if you were neglected by your parents, well, then there's a part of you, your inner child needs that, not neglect, needs that emotional stability, that emotional support. And so you can visualize, this is what I like to use, applying the mirror exercise, and then visualizing that part of me that needs that love, and just simply giving it to myself, but through visualization, right? And being in my heart space. If you don't like to use visualization, well, then you just simply feel your feelings, and, feel that part of you that didn't feel good or felt hurt at whatever time frame in your life, and just simply choose to give yourself whatever it is that you're needing. And that part of you is always going to talk to you. They're always going to respond when you say, well, what do you need right now? And they might say, well, I need attention and validation. Well, I choose to give myself validation and attention. It's as simple as that. You just literally you do what I just did. I choose to give myself validation and attention. You don't need to know how to do that. It's not like a 1 + 1 = 2 or an MC² equals, it's not some magic equation. Love is incredibly simple, and you create in your reality simply by making a choice. So all you do is you just choose it. Simple as that. And even if you don't feel it in that moment of making that choice, just choose to show up for yourself anyway. And as you continue to do that, you will experience a change. You will start to feel really good about yourself and within yourself. And so that's the deeper love that we're speaking to here. And there's absolutely nothing about that is egotistical. Choosing to heal your, ancestral wounds or shadow self or anything of that nature, that's healing the planet. That is leading in the world's ascension. And that is a beautiful gift that we can give to each other. Anytime I'm healing and upset within myself, I'm loving you. I'm loving God. I'm loving myself. I'm loving my twin flame. I'm loving you. I'm loving everyone. I'm loving all. And that is a gorgeous thing to do. Okay, so hopefully that clarified that you are not egotistical in choosing to commit to loving yourself unconditionally and completely. What you actually are is a beautiful divine being that is choosing to align to the divine self that you actually are. All right, so don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe, and I will be seeing you in the next video.